Hey, this is Chris Kleehammer, and you're listening to the Chicago Singer-Songwriter Podcast.
Hey, this is Chris Dever. You're listening to the Chicago Singer-Songwriter Podcast. I'm here with Chris Kleehammer. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. This is kind of an exciting podcast because we've known each other for almost like a year now. I think it's been a year since I started.
Our anniversary's coming up.
I know it is.
Amazing.
I didn't buy anything yet.
He's looking in my eyes as we're talking about this even.
But yeah, I mean, it's been kind of crazy. The
past year has been ridiculous, actually. Yeah, just with Euphoria.
Yeah.
That whole scene has been pretty life-changing, I feel like, for everybody.
Honestly, I mean, and a couple of people that I've interviewed, I've met through that, like Ross Berman and Matt Norris and you, who we just kind of like came up in this scene playing music and like really appreciating each other's songs and sort of hanging out outside of that and just getting to know each other.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot of fun. It's been a fun ride.
It's been, such amazing people and such amazing talents. And it's crazy because everyone brings something different to the table. And I can learn something from everybody. And just, it's great being the least experienced out of everyone because I just try to take what I can from every single person that is there.
Are you the least experienced? Do you feel
I would
still?
say so.
Because you've been doing like that scene for, has it been a year or over a year?
Euphoria scene probably almost 2 years. Maybe I think Euphoria's probably been a year, but open mic. Lily's, I've been at Lily's for like 2 years, but I really started getting with Euphoria once we started just start designing their garage for them. They were looking at renovating some stuff there, so I was working more closely to them and just being over there a lot more and getting to know them.
Going to the hostel on Diversity.
Yeah.
Is that still happening? Are you still doing the garage?
No, the garage. Well, no.
It was such a cool concept. I saw the drama for it.
We realized we should probably raise the ground floor. The cost would be to build the garage. We should jack the floor up so we have a legal basement for people to conjugate in, because it's legal.
But your nightlife, your moonlight as a musician. Mm-hmm. Why?
It's something I always wanted to do, and I think it was the first time. All through life, from kindergarten to and high school and even college, you're told what to do, and you finally like, oh, I got an A, or oh shit, I got a C, whatever. But you're following someone else's order. Like guitar was the first thing I said, I want to do this, and I'm going to do it, and I did it.
How old were you when you first wanted to play guitar?
When I first wanted to?
Yeah.
Probably like 13, 14, 15, like that era. But I didn't play guitar then.
Do you remember what it was that made you want to play, though?
It was really always, whenever I listen to music, it's always been about the words. And I remember just hearing some just awesome words of a song of like Billy Joel, and it'd just be like, that's a great line. And I wanted, I wanted to make those great lines. Like I want to make those great songs or great sayings. And and I would kind of dabble in writing as, in class and stuff, but I never really, I was too busy trying to be an athlete. The key word there is trying, and I did not succeed at being an athlete.
So why didn't you pick up a guitar in high school?
When girls come around, man, girls cloud the vision. I was just too busy trying to be something I wasn't, and it took me a while to realize that that's not what I'm supposed to be doing, or that's not what I'm good at. So or what I was just meant to do. And music, so far, the writing comes it's easier for me than playing sports.
And something that you're going to be able to do a lot longer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk about your writing style. We talked about it a little bit before we started recording. You're writing all the time.
Yes, not necessarily always songs, just observations or concepts or lines. I always carry a sketchbook on me, and I always carry a pen on me. I'm the big believer in, I like to write things down versus type them in my phone, because when you type them in your phone, you're only seeing it on one screen. You know, you cannot flip between two pages, or like, what was that idea I had 6 weeks ago, and I can't alternate between two pages. I have to scroll or go back, find a file, and it's very very clumsy. But yeah, when I write, sometimes I'll do these exercises where I just try to be very specific on the details I'm observing. I know we were talking about the story where, you just try to, what's this? You see a lady on a train, like, where's she going? Like, what's her bag? What type of bag does she have? Is it bulky? Is it thin? Does she have high heels on? Does she have flats on? What color are the flats? Do they click when she walks? What pattern is her skirt or her shirt? And you just start really getting into these little nitty gritty details that you typically don't notice, but you just try to, it's just trying to write in a different way than always writing songs, because it can be hard to write, rhyme all the time, and you find yourself rhyming the same words because you fall in these habits. So just trying to break habits by doing these exercises.
Have you seen a progression in your songwriting as you've
Absolutely
done that?
Yeah. And now, when I get an idea for a song, in architecture school, we were taught, this one professor I had, his name was Gerald Horn. He told me, when you have a concept, you drive that concept as far as you can, and you put it into everything that you possibly can. And that's what I've started to do with my music is, if I get a concept for a song, we'll play a song later called Doin Time, and it's essentially about me being in a prison, and I try to make it, every line is an analogy about a prison or some way of a crime, or something that is related to law, and you start just driving that point home that it's about, this is your concept. So yeah, those little exercises, when you start being really nitpicky on stuff, you're essentially, if I'm talking about a person, that's a concept. It's like that person, what are all these little parts that make up this one concept? But yeah, I would say it has helped. It definitely helps my writing style.
Well, since you've teased it a little bit, let's listen to Doin Time.
I stand before the judge awaiting my sentence for what I've done. I'll plead the fifth and wait to be given my fate. Won't be long before I'm standing outside the prison's gate. Won't be long before I'm filled with my deserving fate. I was the one who committed the crimes. I was the one filled with guilt and lies. I'll sit alone in this cell of mine. No, I'll sit alone and do my time. These concrete walls have turned to pads. I think I'm going mad. To your chains I'm still bound. When will it turn around? I'm singing behind these steel bars. When did it get so hard? I want to go home. When can I get parole? I was the one who committed the crimes. I was the one filled with all this guilt and lies. I'll sit alone in this cell of mine. No, I'll sit alone and do my time. I can see the daylight breaking, I can hear the freedom ringing, but my sentence has not been served. I can see the daylight breaking, I can hear the freedom ringing, but my lesson has been learned. 'Cause I was the one who committed the crimes. I was the one who filled with all this guilt and all these lies. I'll sit alone in this cell of mine. No, I'll sit alone and do my time.
When did you write this one?
Probably about a year ago, maybe like a year and a half. Post-breakup song.
Post-breakup song. Is that where, like, the metaphor of the prison is?
Yeah, it's some things that I blame myself for. So yeah, it's it's stuff that I was guilty of the crime, man. You gotta do the time. So they say.
Now, this certainly wasn't your first breakup, right? There had been breakups before that.
First like serious breakup.
Was it easier as a songwriter to get over it than it was before songwriting?
It's hard to say. It's music helps a lot in figuring out ideas or like what the issues or what just expressing yourself. But then the other side of the coin is now you have the song that always reminds you of her. So it's like you're constantly reminding yourself of this, and which may be good because it waters it down potentially instead of putting it on a pedestal. Just that we're talking about it probably means it helps, right? That totally. I'm not like a wreck about it.
You fingerpicked this song, which is really it's a technical song from a guitarist standpoint. Like, it's not an easy song to play, and you play it while you're singing it. I mean, you recorded it live. You're pretty musically talented.
Thank you.
How long have you been playing the guitar, though?
4 years in May.
Fuck you.
Hey, baby steps, man. I'm up. I don't know.
But that's a lot of progression in a short amount of time, and especially as an adult. You were in college when you started, or were you out of college?
I was going to my last year of college. It was the summer.
So you're balancing this new hobby with schoolwork, and then a job, a career, everything else that life has in your 20s. Where did you find time to learn how to play guitar?
I just did it. I just didn't. If you want to do it, you do it. It's like you just would pick it up all the time, even if it's 5 minutes. I think it's really important just to have the guitar by you at all times. I play acoustic, and I don't really play too much electric and things just because of the setup. Electric, you gotta, where's an outlet, where's my cables, plug it in, volume, where acoustic, I can just, if I wake up first thing, I can finger pick, and it's not like, this is too loud. Like, it's like I can be gentle with the rising of the sun and the birds and whatnot. Even if it's 5 minutes, it's better than not playing it at all. So I would just constantly, 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. Other times you just sit down and nail it out. I'm a big believer in baby steps. I know I can't do it all in one day, and I can just slowly climb the mountain.
Is that your approach to most things in life, or is that specific to music?
No, it's pretty much everything. It's just baby steps. It'll get there. What did I hear recently? It's like the grass is always greener on the other side. Well, why don't you try watering your own grass? And it'll be just as green as the other side. So it's like, take care of yourself and do. It'll get there.
Yeah, instead of like comparing yourself to other people
Yeah,
all the
you
time and
can't.
saying like, oh, I'm not that good, whatever.
It's so hard though, but yeah, you can't do it.
And you're pretty ingrained in a musician's community in Chicago. You play a lot of open mics. You've jammed with other musicians. You recently had a show at the Elbow Room where you pulled a bunch of guys together just for like one show. It's got to be hard not to be comparing yourself to other people all the time.
Yeah, it's hard because there's so many talented people in there. And when I look at myself, it's like, oh man, you know, for example, Pete Triolo, amazing guitar player. It's like, he's been playing for what, like over 20 years? Like I don't know what Pete does. Like, I don't think I'm ever gonna know what Pete does. And it's so hard not to like I want to know what Pete does, but I can't. You know, that's not how my brain works, and I have to like, you know, get back to my roots and what I do best, because people don't do what I do. You know, and I try to remind myself that you know, not everyone finger picks, like not everyone screams on songs or you know, writes the way I do. So I trust, do you. I mean, it's as cliche as it is. I mean, you got to. It's cliche for a reason.
So what sets Chris Kleehammer apart from a Chris Dever or
Good
a
looks.
Ross Berman? Yeah, well,
I was kidding.
that's probably fair. But
No.
I mean, what sets you apart from any other guy with a guitar writing songs about his life?
That's a great question. You know, I don't. It's not like hunger, because I know Ross is just as hungry, and Ross is. You know, I think what it is, it's the approach to songwriting. Maybe I think like it comes back to what I said earlier, the concept, and just trying to drive a point home and being very very particular in my word choice. Like when I write a song, and I'll do these lists that I call wordplay, and I will literally start listing off every single word I can possibly think of that goes with that concept. Where, let's say, we'll pick a song, for example, the Sleep song, which we'll hear later today as well. I just make a list. You know, what goes with sleep? You got pillows, blankets, Sandman, sand, alarm clock, ringer, snooze, comforter, sun, bird chirping. You just start making all these lists, and you start spinning off of other words, and you just start getting these. You're like, oh, this word and this word work really well together, and you start. You know, that's when it's difficult. The song, I guess. You know, when I have a hard time writing, I'll do that. But the best songs are the ones that flow so naturally. You know, those ones that like you just sit down and just you crank out in like 30 seconds. Yeah, I would say my word choice is what sets me apart, but it's hard to say. But when you say what compares you from Ross Berman, it's like, damn, I really respect Ross Berman. So it's like, I don't know what sets me apart from Ross.
Well, you respect him, but you're not. I wouldn't say that you're similar to him, or I mean anybody else. You know, you're not similar to a Boys versus Girls. You're not similar to me. I mean, there's something that sets you apart. If you had to put an ad out in the paper saying, hey, hire me to play music for your venue, this is who I am, and
I would say raw and unfinished. Like there's like I said, baby steps. You know, it's not going to be a polished product. I'm going to try to play something that's in the moment and put 100% energy in it and make it do everything I can with it. But yeah, I would say raw, I guess, because it's definitely not fine-tuned and polished yet, but we're getting there.
Well, let's listen to a raw song. Let's hear When I Sleep.
I have a speech to give, but I don't have a voice. I have decisions to make, but I don't have a choice. I'm begging at the foot of your narrow bed. Can you make some room? Can I rest my head? And I'm so tired. And happiness lives in my dreams. Waking up to reality. Broken parts rest in peace when I sleep. My comforter's been lost. I wrap myself in rags, trying to retain the warmth that I had. I toss and turn in your shadow stains, the imprint of our love, it still remains. And I'm so tired. Happiness lives in my dreams. I'm waking up to reality. The broken parts rest in peace when I sleep. When I sleep. Waking up at 3, no lights in my room. All the light from stars has been swallowed with the moon. I sleepwalking back to you. My dreams do not know that you are through, and I'm so tired. Happiness lives in my dreams, waking up to reality. The broken parts rest in peace when I sleep. When I sleep. When I fucking sleep. And happiness lives in my dreams, waking up to reality. Broken parts rest in peace when I sleep. When I sleep. When I sleep.
So this song, When I Sleep, is about a dream.
Yeah, it's a recurring dream, unfortunately.
So it's a real personal thing.
Yeah,
it's something out of your subconscious that you just had to turn it into a song.
Yeah, that's when I actually started writing this song with a girl, Holly Murphy. We started the song, but we never really finished it. You know, we just got like 1 or 2 lines that, like, yeah, this is a good line. It was a totally different chord progression when we started this song. But I think I had to get like more of a. It started developing into like, is this a dream or a nightmare? You know, and it's kind of a play on both. That's where the nightmarish tone comes from. That kind of call it like a vaudevillian waltz. Yeah, it's just a reoccurring dream of a girl who. Yeah, it's, dream's great, and then I wake up and I realize, oh shit, that was just a dream. Like, it's
So the waking up is the nightmare. The dream is the...
Yeah, I mean, the line says, happiness lies in my dreams, but I'm waking up to reality. Broken parts rest in peace when I sleep.
So this is about a specific girl. This person actually exists.
She exists.
Does she know about the song?
She does not. She has not heard any of my music, I don't believe. Maybe one. She has heard one song, and part of me thinks that might be the song that made us break up, but the song is called "The Devil in Me." For those who know,
I love that song. It's one of my favorites. How do you think she would react if she heard this, knowing it was about her?
I don't know if she would care. I don't think she'd care. I'd want her to care. I don't know. I don't think she would.
I've had that too, where like, I mean, not so much recently, but you write a song kind of hoping that somebody sees the same thing as you do in it.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
It's a little delusional. It's a little, you know.
I have this, part of me is like I sing for her, but I know I'm singing to deaf ears with her, and I know she's never gonna hear it. But part of me hopes that she does. Yeah, but I don't think she has. But recently, she said to my friend that she wants to see us play together. But we'll see if that actually.
If you know she's coming to your show, are you playing the song?
Oh my god, that'd be so. I don't know if I wanted to know that she's coming, dude. I would be so nervous. I'd be really nervous to play.
Yeah, there's a couple of people I guess in my life that if they were at a show, I'd shit myself.
Yeah, dude, I would just be so nervous. I feel like the pressure. I mean, I've made this mountain essentially. That's like, all these are for her. It's like, oh shit, like she's here. Like I gotta fucking play them good, man. Like they better be on point. Mm-hmm. But
you mentioned that you wrote this song kind of methodically, where you made a list of things. Was that because you started it and weren't going anywhere with it? Was it sort of a way to conquer the writer's block?
Some lines come really easy, and sometimes you're like, what next? And when I hit those points, I try to do like that little word exercise, where I start just generating thoughts and ideas, and I think it's okay. I mean, it's okay to sketch. I sketch all the time, and there's ideas you throw out, but there's ideas that you sketch, and then they're like, oh, what if I did this instead? And that's what that list does for me. It's like word sketching, and it gives me just different ideas and different ways to view the situation or view the concept.
Is that how you write all your songs? Do you have a set method?
No, it's not. It's the ones that are difficult to write. The ones usually I'll come up with a really good line, or like a line that I really like. I'm like, okay, well, what does that have to, it's a really good line that I like. So how do I write a song? How do I write a song, world? You call in now, 1-800. No, some songs flow really easily. Some, I'll just sit down sometimes and it just comes, man. The times where it's like pulling teeth, and it's, I think playing in the open mic community, there is not a one-upsmanship, but it's like you force yourself to write songs so you're not coming to the table with the same thing. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be the one-trick pony, so you force yourself at times. And Eric Clausen once told me, you got to dig through the dirt to get through the gold. Sometimes you got to dig through you got to write the bad song to get to the good song. And so I try not to edit myself that much. I try to write the song, and if it sticks, it sticks. But there's a lot of songs that just don't play anymore.
Yep.
Because I don't like them, or like they're not. I don't view them as good songs.
Or they sound great in your bedroom, and then you play them in front of an audience, and they just suck. And you're like, God, I don't enjoy playing this. Yeah. Nobody liked it.
Yeah.
That was the song where everybody went outside and smoked for.
Yeah, well, that's those damn smokers.
Smokers. Jerks.
I wish I could smoke. I miss it.
When you can.
I know. I have this thing called willpower. It's awful.
Yeah.
It's awful.
This song, When I Sleep, has a little bit more of a complex guitar part than most of your typical singer-songwriter. It's got that waltzy 3/4 feel to it. You're doing a little bit more with the pick. Why do that as opposed to just more of a rhythmic thing?
It's a simple song. When you really listen to it, the notes aren't. I'm doing the same thing. I'm picking the same two notes out. The same two notes of each chord, essentially. The one and the third on the minor. I don't know. I'm not a good music theory. Let me call up my buddy Nate Hurst. He'll let me know what I'm playing. But but it's more about this, this melodic, this kind of, just this gentle, easy 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and it's just kind of like, it's a simple thing that it's almost kind of like a lullaby, where it kind of just becomes the background of, I'm more of a storyteller. I try to tell more of a story than focus on the music, and the music's important, but I'm really about the words. I like to be about the words. So I try not to overcomplicate it too much when I do a rhythm or a melody, and I try to just have the melody the melody and the words talk to each other, which I think every musician probably does, except for the pop stars.
Your stuff's just a little bit more complex than I think most people.
See, it's funny you say that, because I don't think that at all. No. But sometimes I think I'm also a big believer in keep it simple, stupid. Especially when you're playing. I do a lot of open jams, and usually, if I play on stage, I usually don't like to play by myself on stage. I feel like my songs need like a lead part or another element to it from what I hear. So I try to just keep my stuff simple so I can have another instrument pick up my slack. Whereas if it starts getting really too busy, other people can't play because it's too many changes, or they're not comfortable playing it. But I don't know. It doesn't. I never thought of it as a complicated song, but I guess I don't hear too many people playing waltzes at open mics.
True. Well, and two, not a lot of people are screaming at open mics. And in this song, at the end, there's that climax where you're just like, you belt it out. Yeah. Interesting choice for an acoustic song.
I don't know, it's so fun. I love to scream. I'm self-taught. I've never taken voice lessons. I've never taken guitar lessons or anything. I've found it's the one thing I do that no one does. No one else screams really. So I started to kind of emphasize the screaming. And recently I started getting just really good feedback from it. Everyone's like, I felt that, and because my songs are, at the end of the day, like, a lot of them are sad songs, because it's just my natural outlet of how I kind of use it as a therapist. I do have happy songs though, and it's
sure.
Lately I've been super happy and super positive. I talked to this girl Lauren. I don't know what her last name is. Kovchai. I don't know. She's in the Earphoria community. And she told me just about like waking up every day and telling yourself you're gonna have a good day. And I started telling myself, I'm gonna have a good day today. Shit you not, every day has been a great day since then. And it's been like 3 months of it.
It's just that simple, huh?
Yeah, just tell yourself you're gonna have a good day today, and you will. If you lie enough times, you start believing it.
Fake it till you make it.
Absolutely, man.
Let's throw out more cliches.
Yeah, this is a cliche podcast.
Chris Cliche Kleehammer. So going back to like the screaming as a performance thing, a lot of people don't have the confidence to get up on stage. It mortifies them. And you're getting up there writing these songs where you're like wearing your heart on your sleeve, stuff that you've written, and then you're taking yourself even further out of your comfort zone and like just making yourself big and loud on stage. Is that tough for you?
It was. When you first start on stage, remember when the first time I played, just shaking and just butchered the song, just awful, and I just didn't sing with confidence. And the more you do it, you just start getting comfortable on stage. So once you start getting comfortable, it's not that exciting anymore. So you try to change it so it is exciting. And I started doing the screaming because I think the first time I did it was on a song called Pour Yourself Out, which I thought about playing that for today, but I didn't end up doing it. Yeah, I don't know. It's something just takes over when I scream, and I just not even cognizant. Actually, I don't know if that's the right word. I don't even recognize the crowd or like what's around me. And if you've ever seen me perform live, I perform with my eyes closed because I try to really just get within myself and just bring out everything that's within me and everything I want to do. Okay, let me take a step back. If you know me as a person, you would probably never see me mad. You probably never see me upset or really like complain about anything too much. And my music's for the one time I get to like just let everything out. And the line in the song I referred to earlier is I pour myself out to fill myself up. And it's I just try to just get everything out of me, and it just makes me feel so good afterwards. Just something about screaming. You want to scream together right now?
I don't.
Okay.
I appreciate the offer.
All right. Do it one time. If you're listening at home, just step outside and scream right now.
We'll wait. Yeah, I don't know. You feel so naked up there on stage. And
that's what they're listening.
I almost feel worse when they don't.
Yeah, of course.
Because then, like, at least with me, it's the self-conscious thing of like, oh shit, what am I doing wrong?
You know, whenever I look at the crowd, the first thing I look at is their feet, to see if they're tapping, because that's the first like way of someone. You don't have to dance. You don't have to move your head. You don't have to get into it. You just tap your foot if you're into it or not. And if I don't see feet tapping, it's just like, damn,
lost them.
Yeah. Sometimes it's that's one thing is just learning to play to a crowd, or learning to play to different crowds is very difficult. Actually, the screaming came from playing at the cabaret.
Because it was so damn loud and they couldn't hear you.
Yeah, and that's because I started with like finger picking. The first time I played first time I ever played on stage was at Gallery Cabaret at 2020 North Oakley. Open mics on Thursdays and Sundays, blues jams on Tuesdays, and the other events throughout the week. Singer-songwriter night on Wednesdays, hosted by Ross Berthman.
Gallery Cabaret, you can send your check to Chris Kleehammer.
Yeah, right. It's like
this promotional opportunity.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember I finger picked, and finger picking doesn't really work in that bar. If you know the bar, it's very loud. And Lily's, you can get away with finger picking because it's very quiet. And so I realized, okay, well, this is not working here. So the space itself affected my music, and I noticed when I did this one song, it got really good feedback. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna try to do something else like this, and it just kind of started progressing, and then the screaming really started developing.
Interesting. Yeah. When you're talking about finger picking at Gallery Cabaret, Isaac Krautwurst comes to mind.
Yeah, he's a great finger picker too.
He's so good. Such a good guitarist. And
so good.
Like, I mean, there were a couple times that I've seen him where it wasn't that crowded. Like Wednesday night, singer-songwriter night, I think I saw him there one night. And I was like, holy shit, this guy's really good. But in the Sunday night environment, like, you don't hear it. And there's a lot of people like that where they just get up there and like...
Nate Marsh, amazing musician, just super talented. But especially at the cabaret, it's so hard to hear him. But you see him outside of the cabaret, oh my God, it's incredible.
And it's really about, I mean, as much as being a musician, being a singer-songwriter is about having the skills, it's also that part of it, knowing your audience and being able to play to them and adapting your style to it. And if you can't, well, maybe that's not the venue for you.
Right. I think I can't think who the lead singer is of the Talking Heads.
David Byrne,
yes. He actually he was an architect. He went to architecture.
Really?
He was undergraduate in architect, and he dropped out and did Talking Heads full time. But he gave a TED Talk on the importance of architecture on music and how architecture influences your music. Ooh. So, like, for example, U2 is like, that's arena rock.
Yeah.
It's just super loud. And then you look at like an orchestra or a symphony, and the building is literally designed to emphasize your voice. And same thing with the cathedral. And then you look at like the punk clubs, and the punk shows are like in these, tight little venues with people going crazy. And so, they went crazy and got loud. And yeah, that's essentially what I did, was took the architecture around me and manipulated my music with it.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
I think we've talked about it. We may have talked about it before.
His book, How Music Works.
Yes,
he goes into depth about that, about how like CBGB shaped the punk scene just because of like the acoustics of the room and stuff.
Exactly.
Very cool. I haven't seen that TED Talk. I'll have to check it out.
Check it out.
Yeah, it's interesting. So, as far as like Chicago clubs go, what are some of the better ones that you've played at?
I mean.
Whether it be like the crowd or...
Don't want to be the broken record, but I mean, Lily's is awesome to play at always, and it's it's a great community for the singer-songwriter, because everyone says that it's the Greenwich Village of Chicago, and it is. It's hard not to say it because it's true.
I think Russ said on his podcast that Lily could run over his dog.
Yeah.
And he'd still show up to open mic night.
Yeah, seriously,
It's
it's that type of space, and it's just that community that's really just supports each other. That's how we know each other, right? I mean, I wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for that. And another one of my favorite places to play is Euphoria. You know, I've played shows in their place, and it's the same crowd. You know, it's amazing. Like, they're just so tentative. They want to hear you. They want to listen to music, and it's whenever you get a crowd that, you know, they're there for music. They're not there to drink. It's, you know, those are the type of people who I want to play for. Another good, I mean, Gallery Cabaret too. It's, you get your drinkers there for sure, but it's still a good place to just play with a live band. You know, it's definitely more of a live band room than like Lily's would be.
So it sounds like more so than the venues in Chicago, at least right now, and like the scene that we're at, the common theme isn't so much the bar or the venue, it's the Euphoria people.
It's the people. For me, especially. I mean, Euphoria's head is. It's when I joke with one of my friends, Maria Savrasova. She's we worked on the garage project together for Euphoria. It's like, this is like the year of Euphoria for us. Like, you know, we kind of discovered them. We got involved. We see just like what amazing things they're doing and how they, you know, better support the community, and how they're becoming this node of interaction within a community where people are gathering and, you know, meeting new people and, you know, working stuff out. Yeah, it's...
Yeah, and Chris Darby mentioned in his podcast that when he started doing
I
this
heard.
stuff years ago, like, it was such a fraction
Yeah.
of the competitive kind of environment, and now it's getting away from that. I wonder if it's just the people have changed, or if it's groups like Hostel Earphoria that are fostering the acceptance of people. Because, like, I mean, just throwing a couple of names out there, like Lauren and,
I
and
love
Ben.
Lauren. I
and
love your
Corey
face, Lauren, if you're
and
listening.
Matt. I mean, these are all people that just love music and
Yeah.
love being around it. And, like, they've got better things to do with their time, but
Right.
they're out there at the open mics supporting people. And, like, I mean, the way that each one of them, like, lights up when they see you. It's like, they really, it's such an encouraging environment.
Makes you want to go back. And it's
Absolutely.
funny. I was talking to Krista, and we had mentioned this before. You know, Krista, she also was on your podcast, and so you guys should listen to that if you haven't already.
Such a good interview.
It is a great interview. It's funny. Her personality comes out so well in that interview, and it sounds like her exactly. She's like, you know, like, what type of fans do you want? Like, who do you want following you? And it's like, you should be building relationships with those people, and that's what Euphoria has taught me. Like, you know, build relationships with them, because they're these great people who are just so supportive, and, you know, that's who I want in my life. That's who I want listening to my music, is people who are supportive and who want to listen to it and who will get something out of it, versus just, you know, listening to it for, you know, as background noise.
And you get that a lot with open mics outside of
yeah.
that community, where it's like, I mean, I've gone to open mics where, you know, there's 2 or 3 people there, and the host goes up, and as soon as you start playing, he's off chatting with the bartender or whatever. And, like,
Happens a lot.
you go to, like, Lily's, and, like, Lauren's up there with their camera, and Ben's
right?
behind the bar,
Like, I mean, they
singing
don't have to
along
do
if
that.
He knows the songs,
Like,
and, like, it's just it makes such a difference when
they start clapping. You know, they get into it,
Yeah.
and it's so hard to. You know, you play shows. I'm sure you've played a bad show before, where, like, the crowd is like, you know, 3 people who they don't play this song. You're like, I'm not playing that song. I'm playing my songs tonight. You know, go listen to your iPod if you want to do that. You know, and those crowds are they're awful to play for. But then you get people like Euphoria who are just so supportive of it, and I love them for it. And, you know, I will do anything for them, because they've helped me out so much just as an individual and where I'm at in my music career. And they're just always so supportive. Just jamming, like, I just never jammed, and they just started doing those like potluck dinners. I don't know if you've ever been to one, but there's one tomorrow.
can't make it. I always have shit going on Thursdays. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem. But yeah, I mean, they just really are open with, like, experimenting and playing together. And I think that's what. I think playing together is the big thing with Euphoria. Like, a lot of stuff you spend so much time in your room playing by yourself, and you don't really just experiment with others and just mess around. And they, they're the adult playground for us. They allow us to play there, and it's wonderful.
And they're great musicians.
Oh my God, dude! My God!
Corey on trumpet's
Corey's
phenomenal. Matt on piano, amazing. Ben picks up the bass.
So Ben is one of the most talented people I know.
Like Matt, for example,
trades.
he said in the podcast when I interviewed him that he just learned how to play piano.
He's amazing.
It's just like that environment, that like fostering, nurturing environment causes, allows for growth.
Yeah, I try to surround myself with people who are doing the same stuff and who are very goal-oriented people. And everyone in the house is so goal-oriented, and everyone who's in our community is very goal-oriented. So yeah, it's just great to be a part of it, and it's great to see people grow and develop. And I think that's one of the coolest things I've seen is just people, how they change, how their music changes or their style, or it just one day it just clicks like, oh dude, that's a great song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see the same people playing the same songs over and over again, and then they come out with like a new thing. They're like, I'm gonna try something different.
It's amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have done that sitting in your bedroom.
No, you absolutely not. And that's a lot of people just tell me. I think it was Corey. Is just do something different on stage every single time. It's like you should not be comfortable up there ever. If you're comfortable, you're doing something wrong.
Absolutely. That's been like my motto the last year. Is like I finally got to a place where I started kind of getting bored with playing songs on stage. So I started a podcast.
Yeah.
And now I'm like starting to kind of get comfortable with this. So I'm going to go back and start writing songs again. I just think it once you start getting bored, do something else.
Well,
life's too short.
Whenever I start getting super nervous about something, I always tell myself, like, that's a great thing. Because it means I'm doing something I am not comfortable doing.
Totally.
And so I just always keep doing something different.
I always tell myself, like, when I'm really nervous about doing something, like going out somewhere or whatever, it's like, I've never had a bad time.
I never have had it. There's times you're like, oh, should I go? And then whenever you go, it's always like, oh, that was great. I'm so glad I went. Mm-hmm. Happens all the time with me, all the time.
And you kick yourself the next morning because you're like beat.
I don't.
Oh man, I'm always so tired.
I burn my candle at both ends, and somehow it gets replenished. I don't know how, but
that's great.
Yeah, man, I got midnight oil for days apparently.
Enjoy your 20s. Yeah, that goes away.
Woo!
Cool, man. Well, we got time for one more song. This one's called Dino Song.
Wish I could tell you a bold-faced lie, but the roads get longer with the passage of time, and there's always another mountain to climb, and it's always a struggle to hold on to pride. And you'll carry on. You will rise with the dawn. If the road looks too far ahead, just look how far you've come, and we will carry on. History repeats, that means it won't change. Will the good keep on trying while the evil remains? And charity just visits while vices always stay. It's just who we are, so we'll stay the same. And we'll carry on. We will rise with the dawn. If the road looks too far ahead, Just look how far you've come, and we will carry on. Well, misery comes in miles, it's a long walk ahead. And you're looking for a sign to put the bad thoughts to bed. Well, your fate is unknown, so you're blindly led. Oh yeah. Just make sure your soul stays fed. And you'll carry on. You will rise with the dawn. If the road looks too far ahead, just look how far you've come, and we will carry on. If the road looks too far ahead, just look how far you've come, and we will carry on. We will carry on. We will carry on. We will carry on.
I hope Dino hears this song. He hasn't even, I don't think he's heard it yet even.
Who's Dino?
Dino is a friend of mine, and he broke up with his girlfriend who they were together a very long time. I'm pretty sure, I think like 6 years.
You write a lot of breakup songs.
This was not a breakup song. This was a happy song.
All right.
He was going through a breakup. It was like my first, like one of the first people to say like, oh my God, like I love your music. You know, like I love, like you're amazing. It was like, you know, no one's ever like said that to me before for like music, you know, and it
was this a friend of yours or just a random guy?
Just a friend. No, it's a friend of mine. But, you know, I don't have, none of my friends are like, oh my God, you're amazing, you know. So it was nice to, you know, have someone pat me on my back. Everyone wants a pat on the back, unfortunately. But,
it's true.
You know, he asked me like, oh, will you write me a song? You know, and I knew he was going through it at the moment. And not many people asked me to write songs. So I was like, absolutely, I'll write you a song. So yeah, it's for Dino. Yeah, it was, I don't know if he seems like he's a pretty happy guy, so I'm assuming he got over his breakup. But yeah, he's a little bit younger than I am, so I was just imparting my wisdom of what I learned after a post-breakup, and it's kind of about life in general. But, it's an uplifting song.
I was gonna say, I didn't take it when you played it as a post-breakup song.
Yeah.
It was more so a motivational song.
Yeah.
The lines like, we will carry on and look how far you've come.
Yeah.
It's just like one of those, it's a song you want to hear. I mean, even when things are going well.
Yeah, it's I think a lot of times we beat ourselves up for what we cannot do, and we forget about what we've done. And someone once told me we should not make to-do lists. We should make what we've done lists, and we'll be a lot happier.
It's great advice.
I
like that.
It's a man. You've done amazing. Whenever I start thinking I'm a bad musician, I just think of like, oh my God, like, what if I play mandolin now? Like, when the hell did this happen? Like, I own all these instruments. Like, when the hell did this happen? Like, and just baby steps. Like yeah. Unfortunately, the song it's a double-edged sword. It's essentially, there's lines in there like, like, I wish I could tell you a bold-faced lie, but the road gets longer with the passage of time. There's always another mountain to climb, and it's always a struggle to hold on to your pride, because all those things to me are true. Like, you accomplish something, and it's like, okay, done, now what? And you forget about your accomplishment very quickly, and there's always another thing to do, and there's always, like, the road just gets, when you first play guitar, you learn your 3 chords. Like, okay, I know chords now. Like, that was pretty easy. Now the next time you do something, it's like, okay, this is a little bit longer of a road, and then the roads just keep getting longer and longer and longer, and the more time gets put into them. But you carry on, you do your thing, and just don't forget about what you've done. You can look ahead, but don't forget about where you've come from.
So you've accomplished quite a bit. You're playing guitar, you're writing songs, picked up the mandolin.
When I picked up a guitar,
writing inspirational songs for the people.
When I picked up guitar, this was not part of the plan at all. I just picked up because I wanted to do it, and I did not plan on playing open mics. I didn't plan on performing for people. I sure as hell didn't plan to write songs for people. I just wanted to play like some Bob Dylan songs, and but it has manifested into something I never thought it would, and it's been beautiful. It's amazing. All the people I've met through it, it's amazing how life can just direct you towards something that, if this feels so right, like, to just go hang out with my friends and make music, like, it's like perfect. Like, I don't know why I haven't been doing this my whole life, but hey, I got here, so that's all that really matters.
Beautiful. So
thank you.
That's beautiful.
Thank you,
man.
He's looking at me again.
I'll let go of your hand now.
Please don't.
But what's next?
Oh, it's after this?
Yeah, do you have any?
Oh yeah, I've been
goals?
doing the guy. I would love to do an album. Yeah, I haven't tried this. That's a whole nother beast. I've just started getting into like the self-promotion thing. Haven't really done it. But I would like to do a whole CD package where I design the case, I design the inserts. I'm a big person on experience. Like, how do you take the CD out of the case, or how do you open the box? Like, what experience do you get from that? I think we grew up in a time of CDs, and it's, what did you do when you bought that CD? You fucking went home, put it in your CD player, and then you play the whole CD front to back, and you would look through the album cover as you did it.
And there was that feel of like when you just take the cellophane
all
off the
that.
CD that it like never had after that, and that smell of it.
All those moments that you have as you play music, and it's unfortunate that we're getting to a digital age of music where you don't see cover art anymore. And
it's going back.
It is.
Vinyl
is getting the
It's giving
resurgence.
people, if you want that experience, it's out there.
Right.
But as a musician, especially as an independent musician, it's so cost prohibitive.
Yeah. But I would like to make a really nice package that takes all that in consideration. I started making like these songbooks where I take a line of my song and I draw a picture for it, and each page has a picture of the line of the song. So the whole book is, it's being 30 pages, and it's all the lyrics to the song, but it's like a storybook essentially with different pictures on it. So I'd like to do one, like when I do release an album, I like to do a songbook for each one of the songs, so you can have like your own little read-along book per se for each song. I want to give you a reason to buy the album. The music might be good, but there's something, you have stuff that you don't throw away for a reason, right? Like you're keeping something I want to make it so good that you can't get rid of it. But it's not just about the music, but it's about the whole product itself. So that's what I'd like to get done. But right now we've been working on The Guys in the Room, which is a band I call it kind of vaudeville folk, but it can be anything really. It changes. That's just been very different to play with a band versus playing individually. Totally different animal. Just it's like a relationship. You got to treat everyone and take everyone's opinions into consideration and make sure everyone's walking away happy and satisfied. So yeah, that's kind of that's probably what's on the radar in the future. Yeah, we'll see what happens with it.
Cool, man. Well, for people that are into your music and want to be there when you drop the CD, where can they find you online?
I have Facebook, obviously, Chris Kleehammer. We have a Guys in the Room page, which has been getting stuff added to it consistently. It's been getting populated. That's what I'm looking for. It's been getting populated with content. Hopefully, we'll have some live recordings up there. I also have SoundCloud under Chris Kleehammer as well. So we'll probably have you guys can find that. You can also find me on the Space Pop Valentine's album on this.
That's right.
On this, which hopefully we'll do another album on that. So
yeah, we'll see what
we will.
The next holiday is. We'll do a Memorial Day. We'll do war songs.
That's
you like doing war songs,
don't you?
War
songs. I love doing those battle hymns. They're
cool,
fun.
man. Well, I'm looking forward to collaborating with you in the future and hearing what you've got coming out. Thanks for sitting down tonight.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Dever. Much appreciated.
It's a good time. Hey, podcast listeners, Chris Dever here. I'd hate to think you're missing out on any new episodes of this podcast, so make sure you hit subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, or anywhere else you're getting your podcast fix. New episodes are posted twice a month, and I'm always looking for new people to interview. If you're interested in being interviewed for the podcast, shoot me an email at chicagosinger-songwriter-podcast@gmail.com. For all the latest updates, follow me on Facebook, Chicago Singer-Songwriter Podcast, or on Twitter, @ShySSPodcast. Keep listening, keep writing, and keep playing, Chicago.